in the vents, and I mean, the terrorists are going to run into the crossfire. Look at that shooting gallery. Malta with 3 kills. Oh, what? Oh, God. Oh!
Jump into the back and then found a couple and killed off one from the Oracle dead, and now they found tools as well. There's no ice blast, but look at Sven cleaving through 1 and 2.
So it's faded out.
Oh no,
Sven,
no!
He jumped on the replicant and BKB and the storm!
Or you? Dude. Abhichit.
Guessing there are some problems, and I'll be just taking over until Old Bear can resume. Actually absorbing nukes to cause that time lapse. They have banned that Ember Spirit again. They don't want that kind of pushing potential coupled after a circus when you give that gets a lot of aura.
And I am back, Zack7. Hi. Hello there.
Are you there, old bear?
Yeah, I am there. I am, like, we all exist in this plane, don't we? So, yeah. What do you think about the draft right now? Zach 7? So, looking at the draft right now, we've got Team Buriza picking up a Darkseer, Night Stalker, Kunkka, Ursa, and a Templar Assassin. As for Team Signify, we have a Crystal Maiden, Weaver, Slardar, and an Omni Knight. Zach 7, what do you think is going to be the 5th pick for Team Signify?
If they're going for a mid lane pick against a Templar Assassin, someone such as Venomancer would have been really good, or a Queen of Pain, but unfortunately they have banned both of those. So something really out of the box is coming, I guess. My prediction would nowhere lie near because I'm clearly out of ideas. The Viper is banned as well.
What about a
The
Huskar?
Lina would actually be a counter. Huskar does seem viable, but then again, quite a risky pick. Who they've gone for an OD. I kind of wanted to say that, but I really thought it was blasphemous.
So it
Because
seems...
at this point, an OD could be... Go ahead.
Yeah, it seems as though instead of driving the Templar Assassin out of the lane, the Team Signify seemed to have used the banishing technique from the OD to like make sure he doesn't get enough experience, enough farm. If you're going to be laning against an OD, he banishes you out and secures the last hits and the denies which he needs. Denying the Templar Assassin, who clearly will have the advantage since he has that refraction and the side blades to harass the OD. I think that is the play that the OD is trying to do in the mid lane.
That could be argued upon. Wait, let this part get over. It's quite noisy, so I cannot really talk over it. Oh, we have the Osama bin Laden once again. Hello there. Wow, that tower is really shiny. Don't you agree?
It is. I don't think this stream is PG-18 or something like that. I think it's still PG-13. I don't think we are allowed to talk about long shaft-like things.
Hey, that was a good. Anyways, coming back to the game, I think the OD pick can very well be justified because Ursa, Daxia, Kunka, all of them suffer from really big mana issues. And if that OD is constantly going to be right clicking you with his orbs, you're going to, at some point of time, run out of intelligence, after which you easily get decimated by the ultimate. So you need to really watch out for that Sanity's Eclipse not hitting you once you're very low on intelligence.
And we see a smoke coming out from the side. We see that the Radiant are trying to rotate into the dire jungle.
They want to go for that first kill over here, and Signify is looking quite aggressive. They want to take that rune. They want to make sure they get a kill on that rune more than take that rune. And meanwhile, the Ursa has answered in an affirmation to some chat that we haven't actually been able to witness. It must be on Discord or something. This ladder is quite smugly placed between those trees, and he's going to come out and stun anyone who dares to contest that rune. So there is 3 runes for Signify, and Oriza is going to respectively back away, not underestimating their foes. They are going to be happy and contented with that one rune that they are able to secure. So no rune for the carry of Team Oriza. What do you think? Will this rune advantage really play out well in the early game?
The thing about the rune advantage is, you see, the one who picked up the rune really does matter. We see the OD has picked up the rune in the Radiant top, in the top Radiant side, and the one who picked up the rune in the dire top side is also going to be perhaps the Weaver, right? So
Yes.
Yeah, the advantage that the Weaver has, whatever advantage the Weaver had with the money he got, he did spend half of it on buying a teleportation scroll and TPing to the bottom lane. So I don't think that was going to be as worthy as it should. If you had given it to the offlaner who was going to lane for the side of Team Signify, it would have been better. But, well, Weaver does not need a lot of farm to function anyway.
That is true. Meanwhile, the Night Stalker getting caught out, gonna get really low on health, but I think he's gonna trade a couple of hits for his life, and that's more than fair, I guess. He is already getting aggressive and pushing into the enemy lane. So there's a Night Stalker who actually knows how to be aggressive now. Only time will tell whether his aggression is justified or not. The Omni Knight is really going quite deep here. There's a stun coming in from Slider, and there's a heal that's going to damage 2 people. That's a 2-man torrent right there, and right now things are looking pretty smug for Uriza as they get the first blood by killing No Chance on that Slider. And they're going to follow through. They want that Crystal Maiden as well over here. The Omni Knight is trying his best to actually deter them from doing that, and they're going to respond. So not gonna really contest that kill over there, but the Sladar pick-off was really awesome. I think the torrent was the game changer. The Kunka really hit his torrent on point.
That's the thing about a torrent, is it, even though it only stuns for a momentary time, the slow and the amount of active frames it has throwing people onto the air, like that amount of lockdown is what makes the torrent so scary, because you don't just level up the torrent for a stun, and we see what Kunka is doing. He's cancelling out the torrent, trying to harass out Osama bin Laden, but it seems as though Osama bin Laden is not going to get baited into that. He pulls the dire creep wave, pulling it back to where? He's taking the creeps on an adventure, man.
Oh my god, you don't want to go down that hole, right?
Oh, PG-13, bro.
That is a
PG-13.
rabbit hole you were advised
PG-13.
against. Oh, I was talking about a rabbit hole. Come on.
Okay.
Alice in the Wonderland.
Yeah, Alice and the
This
Wonderland.
is PG-7, not
Yeah.
even.
Okay, fine. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it seems to be getting
Alice in
really
Wonderland,
aggressive.
sorry.
Yeah. It seems to be getting a
Yeah,
little bit
Night Stalker and
aggressive.
Slada really trading. Exactly. I guess they are old teammates, and both of them have picked up positions that are similar to each other. Position 4s, both of them. So they're gonna actually trade off a couple of, there's gonna be a friendly rough going on.
Right. I wouldn't know much about this scene since I am fairly new to the pro scene of Dota in India. Meanwhile, on the top lane, the Ursa did get a little bit too aggressive, trading a few tower hits. Bottom lane seems to be getting a
Meanwhile,
little bit
bottom
aggressive.
lane is gonna witness a kill. That stun was actually well placed. He did it only when the Darkseer actually had to. Is it gonna get denied? No, it's not. Weaver is gonna secure that kill, and There's a hasted Night Stalker who is apparently trying to deter them from getting that kill, but it's going to be unsuccessful. So there's an easy pick off bottom lane. Darkseer is going to fall. That's resulting in at least one wave of reform for the Weaver and a lot of experience gain. So I have considerably tried to do that. They are again going for the Darkseer pick. They have stunned him, but he's gonna wait to surge till he's gonna stun the Sladder. So this is very good improvisation coming from Buriza. Sladder actually waits for the Darkseer to surge so that he could get that stun in to maximize the duration till it gets surged. Is there a gank coming in? There's a repel gonna. And so the thing is, what Sladder actually does is waits for the Darkseer to get a stun in, so that he waits for Darkseer to get the surge in so that he can stun him at the right moment, wasting maximum amount of the duration of the surge. So this time Darkseer just put off using the surge until a point where Sladder had to stun him and use the surge to escape. That is very good improvisation coming in from Team Buriza. And we have Zap on the Darkseer here. He has really a lot of responsibility.
And we see the Crystal Maiden is... She has placed a really good Ancient Ward, so that'll make sure that the Templar Assassin will not be able to stack that. We all know that the Templar Assassin's main source of farm, other than the creep waves, is going to be the stacking, since she will be able to take all of those really fast with the Psyblades. But I don't think she will be able to do that, since it has been blocked out by the Observer Ward being placed by the Crystal Maiden. Meanwhile, in the top lane, it seems as though the Ursa is getting a little bit aggressive onto the Omni Knight. The Omni Knight's torrent is going to connect. Oh my god. One more hit and he is going to die, but
very beautiful
the slows from the Omni Knight and the salve at the right moment is going to make sure he is going to live. Is he going to live?
Meanwhile, mid lane is facing a gank, and there's a stun that's going to come in from the Sladder, and Templar finds herself in deep trouble. She's going to get easily picked off. Last hit goes to OD, and that was a good gank executed, very well executed in the mid lane. They capitalized on the opportunity that top was actually extended, and everyone was focusing on the Knight, and they came up mid, and the Sladder sneaked up on the Templar and got that kill.
So it does not seem like the Templar Assassin is doing really well in the lane. It seems as though the banish onto the Slardar's Slitherine Crush is a combo which is taking away a lot of life from the Templar Assassin, making his time in the mid lane that less hospitable.
I think as compared to last list, Templar is on 32 while the OD is on 31. She has an advantage with those Psyblades and that insane damage output that she gets initially. So OD has to struggle a bit in the lane. So I'm guessing that the entire weight falls on how good you execute ganks in the middle lane, and especially with a Sladder, that's going to be considerably easy since you don't require sentry votes anymore, putting that amplified damage in the right place. Meanwhile, we see some action at top. That torrent
is going to miss,
and Ursa is going to take a fair share of damage. They are converging on the Omni Knight here, and he really looks... He doesn't actually look in trouble. Level 6 has a repel, can teleport out fairly easily. He has a Guardian Angel as well. He's going to repel himself, and the Sladder is going to come here, going to capitalize on this opportunity. They're going to target the Ursa. There's one more heal, that's Omni Knight. The heal is off CD. They just need to find that Ursa, and they're going to give up hope. That's a beautiful heal coming in, and I think the Night Stalker is going to fall here. They're going to go for that Ursa as well. That Guardian Angel is going to last for a fair amount of time, but the Sladder will have to lose his life, and retreating is the only option Omni Knight has as of now. Ursa shouldn't actually commit, otherwise he's going to fall. Oh, he didn't actually. He's living at a sliver of health, and the Omni Knight is going to fall in turn. That's 2 for 1 right there, and that's beautiful play coming from the Ursa. Meanwhile, the gank has not yet ended. The Crystal Maiden is actually getting caught out here, and she will fall as well. That is 3 for 1, and that is an insane rotation coming in from the Templar up top lane. What do you think of this fight?
There is something about seeing a Crystal Maiden dying which makes my heart go a little bit, you know, like it makes it thump a little bit harder, because you never want to see a Crystal Maiden die. Like, even though she is probably the most squishiest hero, like that is probably one of the heroes from Dota 2 who has an emotional significance to me. I play a lot of Crystal Maiden. Whenever I see a support die, it kind of thumps my heart. But that is not going to change the game in any way, since Dota is a game about killing your supports and feeding your carry.
That was a very frank way to sum it all up. But there's a gank at bottom. We'll get back to this later. Oh, he was almost gonna miss the stun, but he chose not to. And now the Darkseer is finding himself in trouble. There's a Crystal Nova there, and it's an easy stun. Oh, he missed that again. The Weaver is gonna get that one easily.
So the Crystal
But
Maiden
in
is
turn,
going
the
to go
Crystal Maiden
down.
actually gets taken out.
That-
Another heartbreak for you, unfortunately, old bear.
You don't have to say that again and again.
Just say that one. So, as I was saying, oh, there's another gang top. There's no peace for us to actually make any more jokes, is there?
Yeah,
So
there
he's
isn't.
gonna pop repel and gonna get out of that one. Easy squeezy. So, as
The
I
Ursa
was,
is getting kind of
he's
low.
Gonna get he's gonna fall. He's gonna fall. He's gonna fall. 2 seconds and Ursa will be history. 1 second. Oh, that heal is gonna actually take care. Bye bye Omni Knight. That's another death. So, is that? That's 4, 6, 9 minutes into the game. There's already 10 kills. So we don't have minutes to match the kills actually.
And we see down the bottom lane,
Another.
they did try to go on the Darkseer, but the Darkseer saved up his surge for the last moment. He uses it and gets out of the lane, securing the bounty rune, and he is trying to play under the jaws of death. That is the Weaver and the Slardar, and he seemingly seems to be well off compared to the other heroes in the map, like the Crystal Maiden, perhaps. She keeps dying left and right.
That doesn't change the fact that you have a little crush on her, does it?
Shh, we don't talk about that.
I guess that's allowed in PG-13.
Okay. So meanwhile in the top lane, the Weaver
So the
has
Weaver
rotated.
is actually gonna come up, Don. Exactly. So what do you make of it? Why is the Weaver actually rotating top?
The Weaver with his Shukuchi will be able to move with hasted speed and phase through people. If he manages to get an initiation onto the Ursa does not have any choice to turn around and back off. He does not have a blink dagger, so the only choice the Ursa has is to stand and fight. And do you know what is the worst thing you can do to Ursa? You kite him around. And that is exactly what a Weaver is good for. He will be able to kite the Ursa around with the Shukuchi and play with the bear, fiddle with the bear.
So that's actually kind of cute. But the whole point is, it would have been best serving the Weaver if we would have stayed bottom lane. They actually managed to get that tier 1. But at this point, a Weaver would have best, improved on his farm, and then later in the game actually clutched it under 25 minutes by countering the Ursa directly.
Well, there are two choices you have when you want to play a hero. You can either play him like, you can just farm up for the first 25 minutes of the game, first 15 minutes of the game, or you can start to roam around actively and get a bunch of kills. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, there is a fight going on. There was a fight going on.
Kind of a quick action, I guess. They were just testing the waters, didn't actually commit to it.
Okay, the OD seems to be in a really good position.
OD is invisible. Exactly, he could actually sneak up, and the Night Stalker is gonna get trapped here. There's a Slardar coming up and ready, but they are not gonna take that fight, since the Templar is in a very good vantage point to actually turn that around for Team Burizaya. So 390 GPM for the Weaver. He is pretty much having the time of his life up there farming. Already has his Aquila, Treads, as well as the Blightstone. And as opposed to the Ursa, who just has a phase boots as of now. The Omni Knight did actually give him a hard time. Meanwhile, mid lane, there's a lot of action. We could see a potential team fight over here. Not a team fight, you could say 3v3. So the Slardar is actually going to come up behind Kunkka, and now the OD is going to extend. They're going to catch that Kunkka there, but that's a beautiful Tauren that's going to catch the OD. The Slardar is going to tank the tower at this point, and that's the last hit coming from the OD. Beautiful heal from the Omni Knight. The
Slardar,
oh, that's a beautiful save. He actually...
The Astral Imprisonment from head
is
on.
beautiful.
Making the plays right there.
That's actually Crowley on head on, so easily leaving.
Crowley. I have to remember the names.
Actually, Sorry. Meanwhile, top lane. Free farm, pretty much. Ursa had to rotate mid for a bit, so there's another wave for Weaver. And Slider finding himself in a bit of a fix here, and he's gonna fall easy. Oh, that's
He
another
is.
beautiful astral imprisonment. Will we see a stun from the Slider as soon as he comes out? Oh, that Guardian Angel, it's actually keeping him alive, and in a turn of events, he's
Okay.
gonna get that 2-man stun in, but that torrent combo, X marks the spot combo has come up, and another astral imprisonment. It looks like the OD is actually denying the kill. So beautiful Sanity's Eclipse that's gonna actually take care of the Seer over there, as well as the Templar Assassin. The Slider is still alive for some reason. He finally falls to the Seer's Ion Shell, and there's a beautiful board that's gonna kill the. Oh my god, I cannot actually contemplate what's happening. It's at such a fast pace. The Shukuchi is gonna hit the Ursa at this point, and he is the only one that's away from a team wipe. There's absolute carnage on the battlefield, and he seems to be kited around like a teddy bear, and the insect is not gonna let him breathe, but that ultimate actually saved him from dying. They're gonna commit to tier 2, and this team fight was actually absolutely crucial for Nify as they managed to get a 4. What do you think about this?
You know what I told about the Weaver kiting the Ursa around? Yep. I'm so good at this game. Well, now we know that the bug is better than the bear, so there it is.
Now we know that Ursa is not the happiest grizzly in the game today.
Yeah. What part of a grizzly bear seems happy to you?
One that has salmon in his mouth. That's a beautiful
Play coming on the top lane.
The Templar is oh, that's a stun, and I think
The Templar Assassin is going to go
game
down.
and set for Templar. That is a very good kill. That is a kill that mid kill for.
And it's not going to get over with that.
Oh, that blind stun. That blind stun. Iron Shell is gonna hurt a lot if he stands in the range. And Night Stalker looks like a menacing black bird who's hovering over Slider, and he's gonna get silenced. This Weaver here, he doesn't have time lapse anymore. He needs to get that Shukuchi ASAP. No detection. They're gonna actually turn the Crystal Maiden. Is gonna trap the Night Stalker here. He's gonna fall. There's a beautiful ulti coming in from the Crystal Maiden, but she's gonna get hit with the boat as well. That's a sharp boat, I think. All these items.
That's the difference between people like you and people like them. We don't have money, they do.
I think that shark boat was. I've never seen a shark boat.
The shark boat is what you get from the compendium, like once you get about 225 levels in that. The thing about that fight was the fact that the minus armor from the Swarm, from the Weaver, plus the corrosive haze from the Slaughter made real short work of the Templar Assassin once the refraction charges were down. The amount of right clicks that the Weaver did hurt a lot to the Templar Assassin, the corrosive haze plus the Swarm, and the minus armor gig going for Team Signify seems to be working out for them. Meanwhile, near the ancient stack in the dire jungle, we see the Slaughter. And we see a smoke coming out. And we see a smoke coming out. Team Breeza trying to get a pick off. Okay,
Oh,
okay.
They missed that Slider over there. He's gonna slither away, but he's gonna get caught in that torrent, and he's gonna get nuked down quite easily from that Templar. Melstrike coming in from that Templar to sum it all up. So they got a very good pick off. That was quite comic actually. You saw the Slider slithering away
Yeah.
to ranks of enemies.
Like if that Slaughter escaped from that clutches of Team Breeza, I would have been so happy. Like it warms your heart to see a play like that happen. Like you're just under the jaws of death and then you just escape by not doing anything significant. You don't have a blink dagger, you just walked away. So the Weaver is going to get caught out.
Does have a time lapse though. We could be looking at a oh, he's gonna Shukuchi just in time, but there's gonna be detection and he's keeping him alive. The Omni Knight couldn't cast the Guardian Angel in time enough. So that's a fight without a carry. They are really skeptical whether they should fight or not. So at this moment, Signify really weighing their chances. Sladar doesn't have an initiation item. He has money for Blink though, but he doesn't.
And he gets it.
There you go. He goes for one now. It's good. They made a good decision by not actually committing to that fight, because without a carry, it would have been really difficult to actually go in for it. They had an OD, no doubt, but still, against an Ursa, it's going to be really difficult.
That's what an Omni Knight can offer inside of a game. Either he can offer physical damage immunity or a spell damage immunity. If you don't have that spell damage immunity, you're going to get mauled by the Ursa. If you have the physical damage immunity, you're gonna get killed by the boat. So it seems as though Team Buriza with their draft are balancing out whatever they have. They have 2 physical damage carries and 3 people who deal a lot of magic damage. Even though a Night Stalker primarily right clicks people, the Void is a significant amount of damage that deals about what, 335 damage in magic. So magic damage, if you don't get hit by magic damage, there are people in Team Buriza who will maul you down just with their right clicks.
That is very well said indeed. And
we see a smoke coming out.
Are they gonna comment?
They don't have their Weaver with them, but if they do manage to get a free pick-off like on the Ursa right about now, they ignore the Ursa, okay? Okay, that might have been a really botched initiation.
They have actually put in a wall over there, and there's a boat coming to follow that up. Not gonna hit anyone actually. The Omni Knight is getting really caught out here. That's a beautiful 4-man stun from Sladar that's gonna make the Omni Knight gonna escape, and they have really surrounded, signifies surrounded Buriza by all sides, and the OD is gonna find himself in trouble there. He has an Astral, he's waiting for that Omni to actually...
Okay, the Guardian Angel is going to make sure.
And the OD is gonna pipe up, scoop up another kill. That heal coming in beautifully from Omni Knight, and Kunkka manages to TP out just in the brink of time as 4 people are taken off the face of this battlefield by Signify in what seems to be an incredible turn of events. From a gank at the Omni Knight, it all turned around to the OD actually scooping up all the kills. That was very well played from the Sladar with that 4-man stun that actually changed the course of this fight. What do you think?
So we see them going for Roche. And you see, like, the amount of minus armor that they have, it is so much. Like, minus armor strats are probably one of the most devastating stats, because as much of a scaling that you have, minus armor always stacks up additively. So having heroes who deal a lot of minus armor like a Templar Assassin or a Corrosive Haze Slardar is actually really good. We see an initiation onto the Templar Assassin, the Swarm plus the Corrosive Haze making short work of him. The boat connects onto 3.
Boat into a it's a beautiful... I'm sorry to interrupt, but it was a beautiful vacuum coming up from the docks here, and they're gonna actually make a comeback into this fight. Are they? The Ursa is gonna get caught out here. The Aegis is gonna get popped. The OD is gonna target the Ursa now. Too strong to kill at this moment. They're gonna scoop up 2 kills. But that boat into vacuum was actually beautiful. I would have loved to see them make a comeback to this.
The ironical part of this game is the fact that the one who took the ROG was not the team with the Ursa. The one who took the ROG was the one with the minus armor. That just shows you minus armor is way better in taking down Roshan than compared to having an Ursa in your team. That is how strong the draft is.
Someone give the Grizzly a salmon.
You and your obsession with the bears. My name is supposed to be Old Bear. Are you obsessed with me, man? Zach7?
Now this is definitely not something you
want to talk about. Okay. This is PG-13. Okay, let's get back into the game. We see the Weaver trying to scuttle about. They do not know the presence of the 3 heroes in the bottom shrine. They just de-awarded an observer ward. Maybe they did have an idea of the amount of people who were there. The Night Stalker is trying to look for a pick-off. It is nighttime, so that is what a Night Stalker should be doing. The Ursa is looking really strong, having completed his Blink Dagger, trying to go for a Skull Basher. Meanwhile, the Templar Assassin, he has his Desolator in his career. He will have that for the next fight. So do you think that is going to make a difference? Next one.
The Templar, yes, the Templar will have, yes. I think the Templar should actually wait for a BKB rather than committing at this point, because more than a Desolator, all she needs is a BKB against nukes that difficult to counter. You have a Crystal Maiden, Omni Knight and a OD. That's gonna go right through, slice right through your refraction. You need a BKB to counter all of that.
But as we speak about that, the tier 3 is getting contested by the side of Team Signify. They are trying to whittle it down slowly. The Swarm making sure that the heroes who do have Blink Dagger, like the Templar Assassin and the Ursa, will not be able to blink forward. And it seems as though they want to commit for this high ground push.
Indeed. And Weaver is leaving no stone unturned and managing to get every single Germinate attack on that tower, which is looking fairly low at this point, just after 10 hits maybe. All of that without a Desolator. And to say that Desolator actually helps in pushing towers. Oh, that's an initiation coming in from the Outworld Devourer. That's a vacuum into a wall, but they're just gonna walk out of it. The Omni Knight is getting targeted here, and he is gonna get trapped by that Astral Imprisonment. There's a bolt that's coming in, gonna hit the CM only. It's a beautiful Guardian Angel. Buriza has to retreat, and I think they're gonna make a lot of this Guardian Angel. It's 153 seconds for the next one to come up, and they are really skeptical whether they should contest the fight once again and get back to hitting that tower, or get back and farm till they have an ulti. Oh, that's a beautiful initiation coming in from the ladder, and Odie is just decimating the Night Stalker right out. There is a vacuum into a torrent, and then Ursa is coming in. He's looking really low. Popped that ultimate, but got back. The Crystal Maiden is gonna pop her ulti right now, and that's gonna clearly take out the Crystal Maiden as well as the Odie with a triple kill. That's an ultra kill right out there, and he's gonna take out the third tier very easily, and I think this is the end of the game.
The OD getting a rampage. I do not think that this might be the end of the game. If people do respawn, they can take the fight. The Guardian Angels is down, but it does not seem like my opinions do matter. GG, well played is going to get called. Team Buriza concede, and Team Signify take victory over game 1 over Team Buriza, and we are going to go for a game 2. Zach 7, we will be right back in a few minutes, and we are going to have a blast casting this game.